Okay, so I have a minor annoyance with my new phone. So I was using a 4S for a long time
Her brick.
because I'm a
It's
caveman.
basically a Nokia.
Oh my god. The 4S is not like a Nokia, okay? It is a piece of 20th century technology, 21st century, 23rd century technology.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Aliens brought it
Fucked
in.
up immediately. Calm down, ancient aliens. Okay, so...
Can that just be my name from now on?
Yeah. You're Ancient Aliens and my brother is Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
And, okay, so I have an annoyance with my new phone. So I switched from a 4S to a 5S. I know, crazy. I jumped up 2 phones. Unheard of. And my annoyance is that they moved the headphone jack from the top to the bottom of the phone, which is a little bit annoying because I listen to music when I walk to class, like 100% of the time. And my instinct is, like, when you hold your phone and then you go to stick it in your pocket, you stick it in there the way
Disaster.
that you're holding it, kind of. So I keep shoving it in my pocket upside down and then bending my headphones. This is why I fucking break headphones all the time. And it's one of those weird, subtle things that didn't have to be changed, but it was. But on the other hand, like, my thing is that I'm annoyed about it, but I kind of get why they did it.
You would.
Unless I don't even know what that means. Because, like...
Every time, this is how it goes. You'll complain about something, I'll complain about it too, and then you'll disagree with me immediately, no matter what it is.
But, like,
you'll be like, Marissa, I hate this. I'll be like, you know what, Taylor, I hate this too. And you'll be like, well, actually, I don't really hate it, Marissa. And like, you do that every time.
Because here's how it goes, is that I bitch about things, and in my head, like, I'm bitching about it, probably just for the sake of bitching about something, because I am constantly in a state of bitching. And, like, while I'm whining about something, I realize what a stupid problem it is to have. And I'm like, you know what? Like, this is really not a problem that is plaguing my life. Like, is it really making my life horrible that I have to flip my phone upside down in my pocket? No, it's not. Plus, and the reason why I was saying that I get why they did it is because when you have your charger plugged in, it's also on the bottom. And so we always have this problem because we FaceTime and stuff. And I have my phone plugged in because it fucking drains your battery so much. And then I go to set it down and you can't set it kind of on the plug, so you have to have it upside down or sideways or whatever. And so my thought about why it makes sense that it's on the bottom, even though I fucking hate it, is that when it's plugged in, I like that all of my cords are on the same side. 'Cause, like,
get your OCD ass out of here.
No, because... if you, like, when you set your phone on the bottom when it's plugged in, you bend your charger cord, and that's how it breaks over time. Or when you set your phone upside down to not bend your charger cord, if your headphones are plugged in, then you bend your headphones. Whereas when they're on the same side, I can just set it on one side and not have to worry about breaking either of those things.
Yeah, until they're in your pocket and your headphones are sayonara. My thing is because I put it in, like, I'll just put it in upside down. I leave my headphones in all the time during class just in case, like, something weird goes off, because all the time I accidentally press play.
Oh my god, I do that too.
And I'm just like, oh, I've been listening to, you know, Beyonce for an hour. Whoops. Like,
what happens to me as of recently, I accidentally broke a pair of headphones. I mean, I use those sort of earbud headphones. And they just break over time. You know, I had them for, like, almost a year, and so they just stopped working or whatever. And I got a new pair, and I like the ones with the little mic on them. And it turns out that this new pair is one of those ones that you can click on the mic to hit play and pause. And I didn't know that because I'm fucking stupid, and I thought I just got the same ones as I had last time, which didn't have that. And so now, all the time, I just wrap my headphones around my phone and throw them in my bag, and then it drains my battery because it's just playing stuff while I'm in class or while I'm not paying attention or whatever, because it's like in the act of wrapping my headphones around my phone, it clicks the fucking mic thing, and it's like playing Spotify or playing whatever, like, in the background for like 4 hours, and I don't realize. Which, that doesn't really drain your battery that much, but it's like... it's more annoying than anything, because it's like, you know, if my headphones were to come unplugged, you know, all of a sudden it's like just blasting whatever happens to be playing at the time.
I wish that would happen to you.
I really don't, but it's fine.
See, the thing, like, depending on the class and what's playing, I think it could be funny. Like, most of my teachers are pretty, like, they probably laugh about it, but, like...
Yeah, I get
feel like
that.
it'd be something horrible.
Yeah, I think...
Because I still have Tim and Eric on my phone from when we did our middle school endeavors.
Okay, so... I feel like this needs, like, a backstory. Marissa and I have known each other for a very long time. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast at all. When did we first, like, meet each other? Like, maybe
So I think for sure second grade, because we have photo proof of it, but then we weren't really, like,
we were in the same first grade class.
Miss... McLaren, oh, true.
Yeah. But we didn't really become friends. Like, we knew each other for a while, but I think we became, like, friends in early middle school, like 6th grade or something like that. We started actually hanging out more. Because middle school is really when you start to, like, make real friends instead of people that are just vaguely the same size as you. And so in middle school, we would always do, like, projects together. We had the same science class 1 or 2 years together or something like that. And our teachers were always fairly lenient with the projects. Like, you could pretty much do whatever as long as it was creative and got the message across. So it became, like, a popular thing in our classes at the time to make videos. And so we made, like, a series of, like, different videos for projects, and there's one that we made that was about time travel.
And Tim and Eric have we're like, oh, we for sure need a song to put in, so we just Googled time travel, or didn't Google,
that was,
we
like,
iTunes
our thing is we would put, like, a relevant song in the credits.
Very clever, obviously. And so we just looked up time travel in iTunes, and one of the first ones was Tim and Eric, which is, what is it?
If I could travel through time sometime. Yeah, it's just this whole, look it up.
We butcher it, but the song itself is not necessarily much better.
No, it sounds pretty much exactly like that, just with men.
And so I love them so much. I thought they were so funny. For some reason, I, like, bought the album or stole it or something. I don't remember.
You bought the album and then made me a copy and gave it to me for my birthday.
Oh, yeah, I bought, like, the discography or some huge album, and their songs are ridiculous, and so I would have those on my phone, I think still now, and I would accidentally shuffle it, and it would go off, and I'd be with people that I knew and think it was funny. I'd be like, okay, hold on 1 second, I have to see something.
Oh my god. It's, and I mostly use Spotify for my music, and a lot of people are like, Spotify sucks, blah, blah, but, like...
Who says that?
Well, there are a lot of people that don't like it because it's free, but I pay for it, so...
Yeah, I do too.
Just because they were doing this thing where they offered you, like, 3 months for, like, a super low price, so I was like, okay.
Oh, we both got sucked into that, and then once you're you can't go back.
I was like, yeah, I'll try it, I'll see if the premium is really worth it, whatever, and then I was like, wow, this is the best thing ever, and I pay for it now.
I think for me, I kept skipping songs, and
then you run out of skips eventually.
Yeah, and then I was pissed. I'm like, I just want to listen to this one, Ass Too Fat, some stupid song I didn't need to listen to, and I was like, I'm so annoyed. So I was just like, you know what, fine. I just, like, paid for it, and then I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but then, it was great.
The reason I like it, too, because you can make some of your playlists offline playlists, too. Which is great, because, like, I end up driving back and forth between the Bay Area and Long Beach more often than I want to. And so there's points on Highway 5 where you don't really get reception, and I keep CDs in my car at all times. I don't know if I want to talk about my fucking car on this podcast. That's a whole fucking story. Maybe if we have time, I'll tell the story of what's happening with my car. But I keep CDs in my car pretty much all the time. But it's nice if you're in a car with a radio that you can connect your phone to, because you can use your offline playlists and do that kind of stuff even when you don't have reception. And plus, like, I use it a lot. I used to use it... My family got some sweet deal for, like, some unlimited data thing, so it doesn't matter now. But before, I used to use it all the time just on cell data instead of Wi-Fi, because I couldn't always connect to Wi-Fi, and it really didn't use up a lot of data.
Yeah, it's good stuff because I understand Pandora radios, and if you don't really know what you want to listen to, Pandora, but I get annoyed on Pandora because I'm like, okay, I want to listen to this specific album, this specific song, and it will give me related songs. I'm like,
you know what my
okay,
thing
not really
too
what I
is
wanted.
people don't realize that Spotify has a Spotify radio. And it's similar to Pandora, and I actually like it better than Pandora Radio. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased because I use Spotify all the time. I have used both Spotify and Pandora fairly extensively. But I like the Spotify Radio because I feel like it caters more to what I like. Like, I tend to, like, on Pandora Radio, there's some songs in there that I like or that I haven't heard and I like, but then there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, eh. But on Spotify Radio, I find that I consistently, whenever I hear a song that I haven't heard before, I'm like, wow, this is really good. I really like this. Like, I feel like whatever algorithms they use to find artists that are related, I think are better. Because it tends to find stuff that goes together more. And the thing I like, too, about their radio is that you can like songs. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see it. You can like songs or thumbs up or whatever, and it puts them into a playlist that you can look at either on your phone or on your computer, wherever you have Spotify. So that if you want to go back and save songs later, you can just like them, and it'll make that song show up again in your radio. But it'll also create. Or
like check it. Yeah,
it'll like create a playlist for you of songs that you liked from Spotify Radio. So if you want to go back and find it later, you're like, oh, that song I was listening to, I really liked it. You know, as long as you hit the button, it'll just automatically go into a playlist for you. And my thing too with Spotify is like there have been some artists that hate Spotify that feel like they don't get paid enough, which they probably don't because nobody pays artists enough. But at the same time, I've had experience with a lot of bands and artists and stuff who encourage people to listen to their stuff on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. And Spotify, what is it, like $10 a month? It's not something even really...
It's like, $9 something maybe.
So that's like buying a whole album every month, which is
plus,
a lot,
honestly,
but it's totally worth it.
You know, and I saw it was an interview or tweets or something with somebody. I don't remember who it was. I wish I could remember, but it was somebody that was in a band, and they were talking about Spotify and streaming and people downloading their stuff illegally, and I remember they were saying that, like, it really doesn't matter because, like, if people like you, they're gonna pay for your stuff. You know, like, yeah, I listen to a lot of stuff on Spotify, but, like, the bands that I really love, I have their album also.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so it's like, this, for me, Spotify is like an easier way of having all the music I like in one place. You know, but like if I really, and this, God, I wish I could remember who it was. I don't think it was Brendan Urie, but it was somebody like that. And he was talking about like, you know, yeah, like I really don't care, like download our music illegally if you want to. I don't give a shit because if you're a fan, you're going to buy our stuff and you're going to come to the show. So who cares if you paid for the album or not?
Well, and it almost is better because anyway. It's almost better because if you don't, like for me, I don't really know I like someone. I'm like, wait a minute, I love this.
Yeah, you know
and
what
then
it is
I look through their stuff and then I'll buy their album or go see them live.
I like it because it allows me to know ahead of time that I'm going to like something because, like, I'm not going to buy something unless I know that I'm going to like it. And for me, like, if I really like a band's album, I'm going to go out and buy it whether or not I listen to it on Spotify or not, you know? And so for me, I end up buying more music now that I have Spotify because I'm more willing to try out new artists because I don't have to pay for it and experience thinking like, oh, what if I buy this album and I don't like it? I can listen to it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I do like it, I'll probably go out and buy it. So I end up spending more money on music because I have more of an ability to explore stuff without sort of being wary of new music.
Mm-hmm. I know everyone I talk to, I'm like, do you have Spotify? You don't have Spotify? You need to get Spotify.
Right, Dad?
Because it will, like, frustrate me because I'll be, like, trying to do music on their phone or whatever. I'm like, okay, you don't have Spotify. Like, I don't...
Yeah, I mean, my dad recently made a Spotify because I'm always playing my playlists in the car and stuff, and and my dad is very... I don't want to use the word hip because old people use the word hip when they're not cool. But, like, my dad is very, you don't, like, his personality is not that of a 50s man. You know what I mean? And so, like, he's very sort of, I don't know if into music is the right word, but he, like, listens to music that's not just, you know, from, oh, back in my day, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so it's like when I'm listening to, well, you know, because there's always, like, people's parents that only listen to stuff that they listened to when they were our age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's like, my mom is the same way, too, but it's, so it's like, my dad is always, if I'm playing playlists in the car, he's like, oh, what is this band, what is this song, like, I really like this, you know, I want to have this on my computer in my car, or what's this, you know, and so I finally told him, I was like, you know, if you make a Spotify, you can follow all of my playlists. And he was like, oh, what? He didn't really realize. And so he that day made a Spotify and then, like, followed a bunch of my playlists. And it's kind of cute because now he'll text me occasionally and he'll be like, oh, I've been listening to this playlist. I really like this. Like, I converted I'm a huge Eagles of Death Metal fan, and now so is my dad. And he didn't really know who they were before, but they're in most of my playlists because I'm a hoe for them. But, like, and so now, you know, we were listening to it in the car, and he totally knew all the songs. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, this is great. Like, we're, like, connecting on a whole new level because now my dad and I are even more listening to the same music, which is really cool because it's, like, I don't know, it's kind of a neat thing. My mom is not. What are you doing? But I'm playing with a tea bag.
Okay, just see you, like, maliciously, like, flipping them over. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
I'm sitting at my desk, and I have a tea bag on a plate. It's on a plate because it was in my tea, and now it's not. But I'm just, like, flipping it over and over again because I feel the need to constantly be doing something with my hands. And so I'm sitting here.
That's very distracting.
I'm sitting here playing with a tea bag, and Marissa's, like, freaking out about it for some reason. It's because, like...
Well, I thought because of the angle on the plate, I thought you had, like, 10 of them, and you kept just flipping through them.
No, that
so
would
I was
be
like,
really
okay,
weird.
what? I'm like, what's the point of this?
No, it's just one tea bag, and I'm just playing with the one tea bag. Where is my tea? There it is.
Slow your roll, girl.
Slow your roll.
Whoa. Respect your elders. I don't need this.
Fuck off. You're like 6 months older than me. Respect your elders.
Yep.
Respect
6
my fucking dick.
Whoa. I'm calling Barb. Okay, also Taylor over these past months have been watching a lot of
oh no.
My Big Fat Fabulous Life.
Oh god. Okay, yeah.
Because we are scum of the earth. So basically, I think we talked about this before. We're using an old friend's Comcast account that they don't know we're using.
And we're using they here because we don't want this to come back and anybody to know who it is.
To fight us in the ass.
And yeah, basically this friend no longer talks to either of us because they're a bitch. But they don't really use their Comcast login for their computer.
I don't think they realize that specific login exists because they've made a newer one since that.
And at first I felt a little bad, and then I remembered that, like, this is the same friend that, like, I would always, like, they would text me and be like, hey, we should get together, we should hang out, and I was like, okay, when are you free? And then they wouldn't respond. And so I was like, okay, fuck you, like, I'm gonna watch My Big Fat Fabulous Life on your Comcast account, I don't give a fuck, like, you can't even be friends with me, I'll fucking use your Comcast, fuck
yeah,
you.
They're the kind of person where, like, they straight up did not like me for whatever reason.
So fake.
But the minute you see them, they are excited to see you and how are you, how are you doing?
We went out with a group of people for Chinese food at one point. This was this like a couple years ago maybe?
This is high school, I think.
Was it late high school? I couldn't remember if we were in college yet or not. But we went out with a group of people for Chinese food, and this friend was there, and they were, like, talking to Marissa, and they're like, oh my god, I miss you, we need to, like, be friends, like, we should hang out more, and cause this person had been ignoring Marissa straight up
and I
for,
literally
like, a year.
said to their face, oh, I thought you didn't like me because you have been ignoring me for months. And of course it was, oh, no, and of course after that dinner, she never spoke to me again. It's like, oh, okay, like, if you really don't like someone, okay, but you don't have to, like...
It's like, I get trying to be cordial in person.
Yeah, but they're over the top.
You know, but there's no need to... Yeah, like, there's no need to kick it up so much and be so ridiculous. Like, be nice, and that's fine. You know, like, don't be an outright
Yeah, like, if
bitch
I
to
saw...
somebody, you know, like, if I didn't like somebody and I was at a dinner with them, I wouldn't yell at them, you know? But I'm not gonna...
Yeah, if I saw my old, nutty friend, I wouldn't
like...
be mean to them. I would just be like, okay, like, I hope you're doing well, I gotta go.
But yeah, it's like, but you're not gonna act like you're best friends again when you're not, you know? Especially because you guys were really close for a really long time, you know? And so it's like, all of a sudden then they were ignoring you for bullshit reasons, and then all of a sudden is acting like you're best friends again, like, and that's just weird, kind of, and cruel almost,
It's,
to, like,
I wanna
do that
say,
to somebody.
There's like, oh, classic, you know, women stereotype, but then there's, okay, something is off with you, and you need to reevaluate
Yeah, this is like a new level.
This is a you need to see a therapist level.
There's still tea on my boob, so that's fun.
Just take your shirt off.
Because nobody would see me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, she's taking it off.
I would, but it would disrupt my headphones, and I don't want to have all that annoying noise. Otherwise, just naked podcast, and nobody would know.
I know we should, just for humor's sake.
Hands-free podcast.
I could be naked right now. Hell yeah.
I'm sure somebody would still be like, wow, they're naked on the internet? Whores.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, somebody somewhere would be annoyed about it. Be like, wow, what a slut. Naked on the internet and talking about it? Fuck you.
Fuck you, yeah. How dare she even spill tea on her own boob? It's probably on purpose, just to talk about it. Fuck you, and
I'm sure she was just doing it for attention. She just wants us to tell her that her boobs look good. I can't even fucking see me.
Oh my god. I know, the internet's wild.
Oh my god.
Internet's a wild place. Last night,
oh god.
So, let's just say I was watching a lot of Catfish over Skype with Taylor. She wasn't watching it, but I was just narrating literally 5 episodes of Catfish. So I fast forwarded, so it's probably only like 3 hours. But this one dude straight up thought he was dating Katy Perry. It was like a big like news thing. I'm sure y'all have heard of it. But just, you think like, oh,
you have
whatever.
to watch the episode. Find a way to watch that episode because A, it's a little bit sad. B, you will feel so great about yourself. And I feel mean when I say that, but like, there's obviously
he was in a 6-year relationship with who he thought was Katy Perry. Even after he met the girl told him, oh, I'm not Katy Perry, I've been who you've been talking to. Here are these personal details about you. Even then, he was like, I don't know if it's really her.
He didn't believe her.
And then he emailed like the supposed Katy Perry account, was like, oh, by the way, I met this girl and I went to England to see her, but like, how are you, Katy? Like,
right? And then Neve and Max were like, are you serious? Like, what are you doing? Like you can't believe it's her. And like, and he was so convinced that it was her that, like, they kept asking him, it was like a running joke in the show, they were like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how confident are you that you're meeting Katy Perry? And he was like, 1,000.
1,000.
And then at one
So
point, like,
confident.
he met the girl, and she was like, okay, like, it was me, you know, like, all along it was me.
Yeah, it took no time to get it out of her. Right away, straight up, she said, it was me, I was the
Katy Perry. Because she did kind of feel
account.
bad about it, you know, and it was like, and I think, too, it's like, it's weird because I think that she was probably a little bit less inclined to feel bad because I'm sure in her head she was like, okay, there's no way this guy believes me because obviously it's not Katy Perry.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure that in her head she probably assumed that he knew all along. You know, and so, but it's like, it was weird, yeah, because like they met and he was talking to her and she was like, yeah, it was me all along, and he was like, I don't think it's her. Like, he thought it was like a setup and that like Katy Perry was trying to like punk him and that like this other girl was like part of Katy Perry's master plan, and he was like listening to her music and he was like, I know there's like hints about it in these songs and like blah blah blah, and it was just like really.
Oh yeah, he said, oh well, she sent me, you know, recordings before they were released, but they were on YouTube from some random YouTube channel, and even Max and Eve were like, okay, like this isn't not released if it's on YouTube. That's not
right,
her
like,
account.
It's all from some random different YouTube accounts. Like that's not.
And of course, even then, he was like, oh, well, you know, she just likes to keep me on my toes, or he said something weird about it.
Katie just likes to keep me guessing.
Keep me guessing, yeah. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it was just like, it was really a bizarre thing. And at first, I almost felt like he wasn't real, because like in my head I was like, okay, there's no way that somebody is gonna genuinely,
it's like his ticket to fame, you know.
Yeah, like there's no way that somebody is gonna genuinely believe that they're talking to Katy Perry and be this convinced and genuinely believe all of this weird bullshit like for that long.
He asked the girl these like security questions. So he said, oh, what were our kids' name? And she named 2 out of the 3. She said, oh, I forgot the last one. He's like, oh, it's not her, she didn't get it right.
Even Max were talking about it too, like what basically happened was that like he just didn't want to like admit the reality that like he cared and she didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, and so he like was trying to convince himself that no, it's not real because I know it's Katy Perry, blah blah blah, because the girl just like obviously didn't care or was like, okay, whatever, like, yeah, it was our kids' names that we talked about one time, but like I'm not really Katy Perry, I don't care, this isn't real.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit sad, but at the same time it was just so unbelievable that there was a large portion of it, like I said, where I was convinced that I was like, okay, no, he must be full of shit, like he must just be acting this way to get on TV.
I know, I thought that until his brother came in, his brother was like, oh, okay, and then I was like, alright, if his brother thinks he's a nut, he's a nut.
Yeah. And too, like, part of the thing that happened was that like he sent those like follow-up emails about like, oh, I met this girl in England and blah blah blah, and so like we kind of figured out that he wasn't just being that way for TV because he didn't tell anybody about those. He didn't tell Neve and Max, because they always do a thing at the end where they check up on him a couple months later or whatever, and he didn't tell them about those. The girl did. They called her and because he was like, oh yeah, we haven't kept in contact, and they were like, oh really, like that's crazy, and he was like, yeah, I sent a couple emails but she didn't respond, you know, oh whatever, and they were like, oh that sucks, you know, but we'll call the girl, and they were like, oh, so you got some emails, like why didn't you respond? And she was like, well, they're not what I was expecting.
They weren't technically like, for me.
Yeah, she like checked the account and she told him, she was like, yeah, he was like basically still writing to Katy Perry and saying that like, you know, talking about me, like, oh, I met this girl, I did this and this and this. And she was like, I didn't know how to respond to that because, like, what am I gonna say, you know? Like, and so then they called the guy back and they were like, dude, what the hell? Like, you said you were over it. Like, what's going on? He was like, oh, I sent those, like, a few days after we got back. Like, I'm over it now, blah, blah, blah. And
he said he was doing his own investigating.
Yeah, and I think he kind of was over it, because then they did that thing again where they were like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you were talking to Katy Perry? And he was like, okay, yeah, 0. Like, I admit now that it was ridiculous. Like,
man, oh man.
It was just weird. Yeah, I think he was just, like, so attached to the idea.
For sure, watch Catfish.
Yeah, oh my god. I don't know. I'm sure you could just look it up, because that was, like, a news article, because people were like, what the fuck? Like, how
Katie did reply. I didn't look up to see what she said exactly, but she was like, okay.
Like, and Marissa and I were talking about it, and I was saying that, like, the only way, to me, that, okay, this is what I imagined was gonna happen, was that the person was from, like, a small enough town that maybe they didn't know who she was, and somebody was just using her pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I expected it to be. I didn't expect it to be somebody genuinely thought they were dating pop star Katy Perry. You know, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I'm dating this girl, and they were gonna be like, what the fuck, that's Katy Perry. But it was like, this girl Katy, and you may know her, she's Katy Perry. And they were like, what? And immediately Max was like, okay, you know you're not talking to Katy Perry, right? Like, he was like, no, I am. Like, I don't know, it was kind of crazy. It was crazier than I expected it to be.
Yeah. We just watched it. If we were actually, like, a famous podcast, people would be so annoyed because it sounds like we're just shamelessly promoting, get Spotify, watch Catfish. You know?
Oh, like, I know. Oh, my God. Hey, listen, if Spotify wants to sponsor us, though, I won't say no. I could use a couple extra bucks.
For?
Oh, God, I guess I should talk about my car thing. Okay, so
I think we should start with the beginning of the supposed trip.
I really don't. Okay.
Do you want me to start with the beginning and you'll...
I could just, well, I mean, if you want. Also, this tea bag kind of looks like a tiny bag of weed.
Blaze it.
Blaze it up. 127, blaze it up.
127. Okay, it's 420 somewhere.
Can we make that a shirt? Both like the asthmatic podcast. It's 420 somewhere.
Just 2 inhalers and it's 420 somewhere.
Wait, that'd be so funny. I actually fully support that. That would be hilarious.
Also, another funny shirt would just, I don't know how to word it, but would be something like 420, blaze it, but please do it like 10 feet away from me because...
Oh, I know. Basically, we had this like trip, and it was like,
it was gonna be like, oh, cool, you know,
I'm not
or
gonna
like...
go through the whole story of it, because it'll take like 40 minutes.
I think I can power through the first.
Well, it's just like, we had some plans that fell through, and it was just a whole annoying
Dramatically, horrifically fell through.
Yeah, and so then we're like, okay, whatever, and we ended up having a good time, and it was fine. And we're on the way back, and I think I may have talked about it in a previous podcast. I drive an old car, but let me say now that what happened didn't happen because my car is old. And that's what everybody's assumption is. They're like, oh, it's because you have an old car. And it's like, okay, well, my car is old, yeah, but that's not why this happened. You know, like, it happened because it happened. Not because my car was old, or because it was hot, or because all of this other bullshit. It happened because with the state of what was going on, it was bound to happen eventually, and I just didn't realize it was having a problem. Which is going to make more sense. And like, what are you doing?
I dropped a pick.
Oh. A pick, like one of your flossers? Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, a guitar pick. Okay.
But I also want to point out...
Oh my god, she has a fucking flosser. Okay, we're going to talk about the flossers after this, because I have... but anyway, so we're coming back on this trip, and so we were coming from Long Beach back up to the Bay Area, and we were going 101 because it was hot, and, you know, a lot of cars have a hard time with the heat, especially if you have an older car. You know, my car is a 79, but my engine was a 71, which is just relevant because if you're, you know, familiar, you'll understand why it has a problem with the heat, but I'm not going to go into that whole thing because I'm sure a lot of people really don't give a shit. And so it was hot, and so we were, you know, going slow on 101, just doing our thing, whatever, and we were like somewhere in Monterey County at about King City area, and basically it just quit, kind of, and there was no, like, explosions, no smoke, no steam, nothing like that, but it was just, like, noises that were happening that were not good noises, and so we were like, okay, pulled over, try to sort of diagnose the problem. It's fucking hot, as always, and, like, there were a couple people that stopped that were very nice.
We met Trevor from GTA.
Yeah, there was a dude that was basically exactly Trevor from GTA, except for not... He was just, like, physically Trevor from GTA. He was very, very nice, actually.
Yeah.
And so then the initial thought was that it was a water pump issue, which would make sense because it was hot. And the annoying part about it to me was that we were now in an area where it wasn't as hot. It was only about 80-ish, which was totally we were, like, in the clear, basically. We were, like, you know, like 150, 160 miles from home, which isn't so bad in that temperature. That temperature is nothing for my car. You know, 80 degrees is no problem. And so that's the frustrating part about it to me was we were like, okay, like, we only have this amount left, like, we should be fine, what the fuck is happening? And, you know, so all of a sudden, we were, like, driving, it was like, my RPMs are off the charts, my temperature is going up for no reason. I was like, okay, this is a problem. I need to stop immediately before I fuck it up even more, because I have to be hyper aware of my temperature anyway, just because of what's going on with my engine and stuff like that, just because it's... When you have, like, a powerful engine, an older powerful engine, it was a 350 Chevy for those that are interested or give a shit, you have to be more aware of the temperature and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, so I was already paying attention to it. As soon as it started to go up, I was like, okay, something is wrong. Like, immediately, I was like, this is not supposed to happen. It's cooler than it was. Like, we were in 106 degrees and it was okay, but now it's 85 degrees and it's going up again. I was like, something is definitely wrong.
This
And
is right around when I woke up from my quick power nap.
yeah, yeah. So Marissa was napping, and I'm in panic mode. Um, and so, which like, and
As
I
per
don't even care.
usual.
And oh my god, I know. And like, I don't even care because like, there's nothing really that a passenger can do anyway. Like Marissa doesn't know anything about old cars. Like, it's not like she can diagnose the problem. Like, and so it was like. And I was like, okay, we need to stop immediately and sort this out. And so then the problem was, okay, it was a water pump thing, and then it won't turn over. We're like, okay, shit. So we were like, okay, maybe the battery is dead from having my flashers on because we had the flashers on for a while and we were trying. I immediately called my dad. For those that don't know, my dad is like into cars. He's a car guy. He's had old cars. He's helped me do a lot of the work on my car. And I was like, okay, Dad, it's making this noise and it's doing this. What's going on? And so we were trying to diagnose this, and we had the flashers on or whatever, and we think that the flashers may have killed the battery, which is annoying, but whatever. And so then it just will not turn over at all. So I didn't end up knowing what the problem really was until we got home, but there's like a story that happened before we got home involving AAA, which bless AAA and bless what they do, but fuck AAA, okay? Because we pulled over off of 101 at like 5:30. The tow truck got there at like 9:30. Because we were around, for those that don't know where like the King City area is, look it up on a map.
I didn't know until we were stuck
It's in the middle
there.
of fucking nowhere, okay? King City is nothing. It's a blip in the fucking desert, okay? And so we're like waiting there forever, and luckily because it's not as hot, we can just hang out in my car in the shade and it's not the end of the world, like. And I was like, okay, like, my battery is dead, it won't turn over, potential, and if it was the water pump, that would have been amazing. I would have loved that problem, because it would have been like $200, problem solved. But no. And so part of the problem was that, so my car is really low, just because of what it is. It's an old Trans Am, so it's very low. And so I can't be towed with a regular tow truck, because it will scrape, so I needed a flatbed, which, even if it was a regular tow truck, we would have had the same problem. But basically, for that whole area, there's one AAA dude that goes around and tows people.
And so he was really nice. Like, he even showed us his call log to make sure like we knew he wasn't just sticking around.
And also then he took us to McDonald's. But
he took us to McDonald's. Oh, it was the swankiest McDonald's in the middle of nowhere.
No, it was crazy.
First of all, there was a kitten in McDonald's. I don't know why I'm saying kitten weird. Kitten. They have like those double.
Kitten in McDonald's.
A kitten. There's like those double doors where it's like 2 doors. You walk for like 2 feet and you open 2 doors. You're in. So within that window, there was a girl with the kitten. I was like, okay, a little weird. Like 10
I felt like she was about
kitten.
to give me like a side quest.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. Then they had those fancy soda machines that give you any kind of soda you want. It was just nice. The bathrooms were nice. But then I guess it's because like there people go to McDonald's more often, so they probably make it nicer.
I've noticed that like at truck stops and stuff, like, and those little sort of strip mall-y areas, like on Highway 5 and stuff, the bathrooms tend to be fairly nice because it's like the only thing for a while, and they want people to want to come back.
Oh, also in McDonald's, the funniest thing, they literally had the Food Network on the TV. So they're like making gourmet food as you're eating your $2 bacon McDouble.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's basically what we do when, we're watching Chopped. We're getting annoyed that they're doing something wrong as we're eating our, hot pockets.
Right? Oh my God, right? How dare they use canned tomatoes instead of fresh, organic, heirloom tomatoes as I'm, like, shoving a bacon cheeseburger in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so we had to wait, like, 3-4 hours for the tow truck, which sucked, but whatever, like, that was out of our control. It was the one dude, he insisted on proving to us that, to make sure that we knew that he wasn't just being a problem, And so we come back, and it's a whole fucking thing. So with AAA, when you have certain, programs or whatever, my family's had AAA for a while, so it's like I got like 100 free miles on my tow card thing. Which is great, but we were more than 100 miles from home. And to get all the way home, it would have been like $600, even using the 100 free miles, which is ridiculous. So we parked in the parking lot of a 24-hour Walmart. And my dad, who is a great human being for this, came to get us because at this point it was like 12:30 a.m. or something like that.
And he had been waiting there.
He had, because like
since,
we initially they initially told us the tow truck was gonna. Yeah, like they initially told us the tow truck was gonna be there in like an hour or something like that.
And then even then,
it just kept getting delayed, kept getting delayed, and so my poor dad was hanging out like in this city for way too long. I just felt really bad. And so then we parked in this 24-hour Walmart and then went home and then went the next day, and my dad used his 100 free miles and called AAA and was like, "Oh, my car won't start." And then got it towed with his 100 free miles all the way home.
But I asked the tow truck dude when we left, I said, "Oh, like, why are you the only tow truck around?" And he told us two scandals. One, so there were two other tow truck companies besides him and his tow truck. And one, they were, like, working with the police somehow, but they were taking illegal immigrants' cars from them and, like, selling them or something crazy that would be
horrible. He was like
a Lifetime movie. And he said, "Oh, that." Too. And I was like, "Oh no! Like, how long did that go on for?" He's like, "Oh, it's probably going on for maybe 10 years." I was like, "What?" So finally, there was like an undercover operation. They figured out the police were working with this tow truck, blah, blah, blah. And then the other one, I think he said, like, the wife ran off with like $100,000 or something, another like Lifetime movie drama.
It was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I was just casually like, yeah, like, why are you only in the tow truck? Like, that's weird, because I thought I'd be like, oh, no one likes the job, or blah, blah, blah. But it was like scandal central in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that.
And I like that he hated like San Francisco because he has to drive on like the narrow roads.
Driving in San Francisco is the worst thing.
Especially in a tow truck.
Oh my god, I know. Especially, in like a flatbed too, because you have that full length no matter what.
And then when I went in Walmart, so this is my third experience in Walmart. Once, very little, don't remember. I remember I got a giant trampoline. Second, with Taylor, when I was visiting her last year. And then this time, when I go in, and I was like, like, bathroom, and they already know what I'm asking where the bathroom is, and I go in, and there's, like, these two women, washing their clothes in the sinks of Walmart, and I was just like, oh, okay, like, I think they're on drugs and whatever, but, like, they're nice, and they apologize for having their stuff everywhere, and in my head, I was like, okay, what are these people doing? Like, okay, judging them, and I look up, and I look at myself of, like, my 12-hour ride, and my hair is, like, a mess, and I just look like I've been dead for 2 days. I'm like, you know what? You do you, girls.
You know what? What happens in the 24-hour Walmart stays in the 24-hour
Yeah, I retract my silent judgment. Okay.
But yeah, so basically, we get home, and we aren't able to diagnose what happened to my engine until we, like, take it apart, basically. Because, like, looking at it, we were like, okay, like, we can't figure out what's wrong here. Like, we were looking at everything individually, seemed okay. And we're like, this is really bizarre, like, it just won't turn over for some reason, and we can't figure out why. Like, we tried jumping it, we tried all sorts of stuff, it just won't turn over. We're like, okay, obviously it's not the battery, it's not the water pump, so, like, what the fuck? Like, and we initially thought maybe it was, like, a head gasket, but there was no steam or smoke or anything, so that didn't make sense. So we take apart the engine, turns out a bearing on one of the pistons failed. And for those that aren't familiar with combustion engines, if you didn't have to do that part of the DMV thing where you learn about a combustion engine, basically the piston is full of tiny explosions constantly, and that's how it works. And so a bearing failed on one of these pistons, and it just tore it apart, basically.
Do you want to guess how much I know about pistons?
Is it from the movie Cars?
Yeah. I knew you'd know.
But, yeah, and so basically a bearing failed on only one of the pistons, and because a piston is a thing that is constantly exploding, it just tore it apart. And so then when it tore it apart, the metal ripped. I think it's aluminum. I have the piece. I have a picture of the piece. I can put it in the thing if I want to, if I remember. And so the torn pieces of the piston shredded the inside of my engine block. Which means that it's not like a $200 water pump fix, it's a $2,000 engine rebuild. Or a $2,000 just brand new engine. And so, what is going on?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. And, so basically, like, it ended up just being this crazy problem that we thought was something really small, and then it was one of the worst things. I fucking hate you.
Continue.
But yeah, so, well, that's really all it is that it shredded my engine block, and now I need a new engine, so my car is temporarily a lawn ornament.
So it would be really convenient if we could get popular on this.
I know, right? Yeah.
Damn site.
So I can, start monetizing the ads. And so, yeah, so now I'm driving one of my dad's cars to school and stuff, which is a whole fucking thing, because I'm not spatially aware of it at all yet, because it's completely different. My car is, like, below sea level, and this is basically a truck. So
it is a truck.
Well, it is, but it's the Ford Explorer Sport Track. So it's
like a wuss truck.
Well, yes and no. Like, they're commonly used in construction and stuff. It has commercial plates on it, so it's like a real truck. But the thing is, though, is it's made for, like, doing construction, but you can also drive it like a regular car, because it's like a version of the Ford Explorer. So it's not actually any larger than my car. It's actually less wide than my car, but it's a little bit longer in the back. So
and just taller, obviously.
It's basically car-sized, but a truck, and I'm just not aware of it, because if you look up, like, a 79 Trans Am, you'll see that the front end is really long, and the front end of this truck that I have is non-existent, basically, and the back is really long. So I have a hard time kind of figuring out where I am in terms of parking. Oh my god. And so it's like, it's just been kind of a whole thing, because I've been driving for a decent amount of time, but I park like a 16-year-old that just got their license, because it takes me I have to keep reparking, because I have yet to master, like, just the proportions of it are different.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your flossers for a second?
I'm gonna go with no.
I'm gonna go with yes.
I'm gonna go with nah.
Okay, so Marissa can't floss like a normal person for some reason.
Okay, Taylor, how often do you floss?
Actually fairly often, because my mom got on me about it a lot as a kid, and I've had so many problems with, like, when I had to have that tooth rebuilt and stuff like that. I'm really, like, obsessive about it.
Okay, well, you're a freak, because no one flosses. And,
you do constantly, and you leave them everywhere.
No, but the thing is, if I will never, ever do it with normal floss, because it just seems so time consuming. So if I have the flossers, it's like quick, it's easy.
For those that are not,
I grab them and go.
Please describe a flosser. For those that are not familiar, describe a fucking flosser.
Everyone knows what a flosser is. It's like this little plastic thing. And it has just like maybe an inch of floss, so you can hold it. No, like first of all, this one is for kids, because my mom got it for me from the dollar store. But I have adult ones, and anyway, it just has like a little handle. It's plastic, it's flimsy, and then you just, you can like stick it in the back of your mouth, places that's hard to get to, and you do it when quick, and which, it has a little pick on it.
It's not the idea of the flosser that I hate. It's the fact that, like, I mean, okay, I don't hate this, but I like to harass Marissa about it, because she uses them all the time, and then fucking leaves them everywhere.
I forget about them.
Like, we're Skyping, and she's like, oops, I found a flosser in my couch, or, like, she's like, I go to get in her car, and there's, like, a flosser in the cup holder, like,
because
on the
when
seat.
I'm driving to school.
I find them in my house.
Okay, no, you did not.
But it's like, they're just everywhere. Like, she was over here staying for a week, and I was like, if I find any damn flossers in my apartment, I'm mailing them to you. And so I just like to make fun of her about it, because, like, every time we Skype, she's like, oops, I sat on a flosser, I found a flosser, oops, there's a flosser.
Well, you gotta use a lot of them. You can't reuse them, Taylor. That's gross.
And throw them away.
I do, but every once in a while I'll be like on the couch watching TV, and I'll set it down for a second, and like it's gone. Plus, those of you that don't know, I'm usually very organized and very great at keeping track of everything I own.
You are a dirty liar.
Except for the flossers. That's my one flaw.
Really? Yeah? Are you sure you keep track of everything you own? You lose your keys every time I see you.
I do not. I put a lanyard on them now, so.
Does that make it better?
Yeah, it makes it easier for me to.
Oh my, you have so many keys. We need to somehow include a picture of your key ring.
I'll take a picture. So I have more keychains than keys also. I think that should be noted. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like of the circles, the part that actually holds everything together.
Oh my god, like a key ring?
Key ring, yeah. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But one doesn't have anything.
What?
Okay, no, one has one thing on it. Yeah, I'll have to include a couple of pictures because I definitely
just
could.
Just cover
It's
up
kind of like the
just cover
Olympic
up anything
rings.
that has like if it has like your apartment complex name or something on your
No.
thing. Okay. Just want to make sure ahead of time we don't accidentally like oops, posted your address on the internet. Like
Oh my god.
oh my god. It's out of control.
But
what
it helps
even is that shit? What the fuck?
It helps me find them.
Does it?
Yes. Although it's horrible in class, and I'm like, okay, I gotta pull my keys out before I go.
You should be like Zoe 101 and keep your keys on a necklace.
Oh, okay, well, that's why it's on the lanyard, Taylor.
But, like, you wouldn't lose it if it was just, like, your regular keys on a necklace, like Zoe 101. I don't mean that whole chunk of shit. It would be
I have
ridiculous.
a lot of keys that I... Okay, well, yeah, well, I'll just include a picture, but I have Claptrap, and I have Groot, and then I have a bottle opener my grandpa gave me. Then I have AC/DC keychain and a Rooster Teeth keychain, and then the lanyard, and the rest are just keys.
How many keys do you have? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, good question. I have...
I'm not one to talk, though, because my car has so many keys, so I end up with a lot of keys. I just don't have any extra, like, keychains on it.
6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 keys.
Alright, that's not that weird, I think. I'm trying to think of... I don't have my keys in front of me, but I'm trying to think of how many I have. Because normally I just have my car keys, which are... I have a key for the door, for the trunk,
But your car
and
keys
for the
are
ignition.
they're tiny though.
They are tiny, yeah. Because
Mine are like
the electric
big
thing.
keys, and then also it's like so. Not that many keys, but then I have a lot of keychains, and then just the way I put them on the keychain just makes it worse.
Yeah. Honestly, too, the only reason my car has 3 keys is normally the door and trunk keys on those kind of older cars are the same. It's just the ignition that's different. But along the way, one of my doors probably had to be replaced. And so they were just replaced the locks on those, but didn't replace the trunk locks. So that's why my door key and my trunk key, they look almost identical, but you can just see that one is newer than the other.
You know what's annoying about my car? There is no way to open the trunk without the key, without the clicky. There's nothing in the car to pop
there's
it.
not like, well, mine doesn't have that. I have to go out, walk around
No, but
the
I mean,
back and
but
shove my key in
but there's
the
no
hole.
way to actually.
Oh,
put the
you
key
don't
in.
have like a keyhole?
No, I don't have the keyhole, and it doesn't pop in the trunk, because one time I remember I was asking for it, I'm like, oh, how do I open the trunk without the key? And like, oh, you can't. I'm like, well, isn't that kind of stupid? Because...
Yeah, because what if you're... I know that sometimes those electric key things...
Oh,
like,
it was because I think I
batteries won't
accidentally
work.
locked my keys in the trunk, but I had the car open, and I was like, oh, how do I pop it open? They're like, oh, you can't. And I was like, okay, well...
That seems really weird, kind of. I've never seen a car that's... Okay, well... I take it back. I've never seen a new car that has, like, electric locks like that where you can't open it from inside the car.
Right?
That's so crazy. Because mine, obviously, because it's old, like, I have to get outside of the car and walk around and unlock it, but that's not that weird because I have to do that for my doors, too. Like, I just don't have electric locks. But that seems so weird that you can't... You really can't open it at all? Like, there's not even a keyhole for... What the fuck? That's so strange.
Horrible. Especially when you actually lock your keys in the trunk. So
I live in fear of locking my keys in my trunk because I don't have to... Like, yeah, I have to turn the key to unlock it, but I don't have to do that to lock it again.
Oh yeah, I know. Now, and I one time it was like a TV show. I went to my friend's, crazy friend, and I had a different lanyard on, and like just the way I accidentally like flicked the keys with the door closing, the keys closed with the lanyard sticking out, car locked, and I was like, okay, and I had to call AAA the next day to have them literally just break into my car, nothing special, and I was like, okay, well I could have broken into my own car, but thanks, like.
I'm
just
sure that, yeah.
So now whenever I'm like looking through, and I'm paranoid because if I'm sitting in the car, eventually my car will just self-lock, so I'm paranoid about it doing that. Yeah. So I always will just throw my keys on the ground and like look at them to make sure like, okay, these are not in the car. I'm not going to lock them in the car.
See, I do a thing because I don't have electric locks on my car. I do now with this truck, so I have to be more careful because I'm not used to having them. But what I would always do is that because with a car like that where you don't have electric locks, you can push the lock thing down by hand and then close the door and it'll lock it. But I specifically trained myself to, as part of my getting out of the car, to lock the doors from the outside. I never ever push it down and close the door because I'm afraid that I will do it while the keys are in the car.
Yeah.
And I have no other way of getting into the car. I mean, I do have a spare set of keys. I have a spare set of keys. I have one in my apartment here and one at home with my family, so that if I fuck up either here or there, I can get into my car. But if I'm, like, on campus or something and I lock my keys in the car, like, I have to find a way to go all the way home and get my extra set of keys. Which is,
my mom has my extra car keys,
which is, like, easier than having to call AAA or whatever, But then the problem arises also that my apartment keys are on the same thing as my car keys. So if I lock my keys in the car, I can't get in my apartment to get my spare set of keys. So I trained myself just to make it, like, super sure that I would never lock my keys in my car by, like, I will not push the lock down and then close the door. I have to get out, do everything. I was talking about this with rolling up the windows the other day, because I'm not used to having electric windows, so now in this truck, whenever I turn off the engine, I forget I have to roll up my windows first. And so I was saying that, like, I've developed, like, this whole routine for, like, getting out of the car where it's, like, I turn off the engine, I turn off the lights, because my lights don't turn on and off automatically. Shout out to the 1970s. And so it's, like, I turn off the car, turn off the lights, and then I get all my shit out of the car, and then I roll up the window, and then I close the door, lock the door. And part of the reason I do that is because it's a two-door car, the doors are fairly long, so if I'm parked really close to somebody, it's hard to get my stuff out of the car when the windows are rolled up, because sometimes I have to use that window space. Because if you look at a picture of a car like that, you can see that they kind of, almost the doors and windows kind of almost curve upward because it's a very low car.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get like, if you have, like, a suitcase or something or, like, a big bag, it's hard to get it out when the windows are rolled up if you have to be parked pretty close to somebody. So it's, like, my whole routine is, like, I do all of my stuff, and then when I'm out of the car, I roll up the window, lock the door. So I'm an idiot because I keep forgetting to roll up my window when I'm still, like, have the ignition on. And so every single time, I do it every time, I'm about to get out of the car and I'm like, oh fuck, I have to put my key back in, roll up the fucking window. And I look like a fool because I do it every time.
A damn fool.
Yeah, well, shit happens. But it's just like, and it's annoying that I have to do that, but it's better in the long run for me because I've become less likely to lock my keys in my car.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And plus, my car gets so hot in there that, like, I don't want to risk locking my keys in my car and having stuff in there that I don't want to just roast, like an easy bake oven.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oops, I left my painting in there, melted. But, oops, I just realized I've been, like, drinking my various teas and stuff, and I forgot that the mic is right on my headphones, so there's totally gonna be gross audio of me drinking tea. I'm gonna try to edit that out if I can. I'm gonna, like, look away from the mic. Because if I don't drink something during this, my mouth gets dry from talking so much, but I'm sure there's gonna be all sorts of audio of me grossly sipping tea. That's really awesome.
Good. I want to mash up. I want to remix.
Ew, I'm gonna, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna do it, and then I want you to make that your ringtone for when I call you.
Hey, I will do that
I literally
immediately.
never call you, so
I know
it's
you're gonna have to start calling me.
Well, I'm gonna not call you, and then it's gonna be really weird and surprising when I do, and it's gonna, like, freak you out.
I know that will. It's like, could you imagine in class just like
On the plus side, you probably wouldn't get busted for your phone.
Yeah, I know, it's very casual.
I mean, in
yeah,
college,
you could just make it like a cough.
In college, most professors don't care, but it's more of just like an awkward embarrassment thing, because they're like, okay, who's the idiot that forgot to turn off their phone? But
yeah, that'd be good if you could just make someone's text or like a ringtone just like one cough, just like, and like that's the end of it.
Oh my god,
you know, so
like
it wouldn't repeat, and then you know,
so funny.
If it happens fast enough, no one would notice. The mystery cougher.
Weren't you talking about the mystery coffer the other day?
Yes, it was like a Robitussin ad, and when we were in like middle school, and it was like, someone would cough, and he'd be like, "You, who is the mystery coffer? Can you find them?" And as a kid, I was like, "Is this a real thing I'm supposed to do? Is there really a mystery coffer planted in places, and you call them out on it, and you like get free cough drops or something? Or is it just like a stupid ad, and it would bug me?" But even to this day, when someone coughs, I'm just like, "Is it you? You're the mystery coffer?"
Oh my god, that's so. I like the idea that like. See, that right there is good advertising. When, like, 10 years later, Marissa's sitting in her college class, she's like, "Are you the mystery copper?" Like, that should be taught in advertising classes. Because also, that right there is how you do it. What is that? Oh my god.
I still have the Olive Garden. We should do something like, if we get to, like, X amount of subscribers, we'll give away one $15.
Oh my god, that would be really fun.
Okay, we have a $15 Olive Garden gift card, so...
I think I've only been to Olive Garden once. Is that weird?
I've only been once, and I don't remember the food. All I remember is they had one of those light-up vibrating squares that you have to wait, you know? And then as soon as it go off, it, like, scares you because it's so, like, aggressively, like, getting your attention.
Especially when they're set on the table. Yeah, the vibration is so aggressive. Wow.
That's how I imagine it's just, like, panicking and freaking out.
That's pretty much what it sounds like, though, when it's, like, vibrating against the table. It is really aggressive.
So how many subscribers? When we get, like, 10 more subscribers, we'll give away.
Oh my god. No, we have to aim our goal higher.
That's why I was trying to be modest.
How about, we could do it, like, when we reach, like, 100 or something, because we were trying to reach 100 anyway, so our URL isn't fucking stupid.
Okay, if we reach 100... We'll do it at the 100th person maybe, or the random, I don't know, we'll figure it out later, but.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We could do it like a giveaway thing, because, like, we have to make sure people are, like, for real.
True, okay. So
we'll figure it out later. This may
Either way, an Olive Garden gift card is in somebody's future.
Yeah, it may or may not happen, but we'll see.
$15.
Oh my god. On that, should we wrap up? It's been like an hour.
Yeah. Okay, keep on keeping on.
Oh my god, make good choices.
Make good choices.
As always, comment if you have anything to say about our bullshit. Or you can
comment your favorite dish at Olive Garden.
You know what? Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I support that.
Otherwise, when you come over a break, we'll use it. If it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I want to go to Olive Garden. I think I feel like I've been once, but I also feel like I have no memory of it, so maybe I haven't at all.
Pasta and pizza cheaply. I mean, that's the only reason I like the idea of Olive Garden is because...
That's the one where they have, like, the unlimited soup salad breadsticks thing, right?
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I feel like I like about Olive Garden is it's inexpensive for inexpensive food. Like, when you go to Pasta Pomodoro or, like, an Italian restaurant, you're like, are you really charging me $15 to like $20 for bread with sauce on it?
Yes. It's like restaurants that are trying to be high end, but you know their food is not high end.
Yeah, like no matter what you do,
I like it when restaurants have self-awareness.
Yeah, no matter what you do, pasta is cheap to make.
Should we talk about McDonald's giving out fitness things really fast?
Oh
and how that
my god! So yeah, when that first happened, Taylor and I were both like, "Oh my god, why is McDonald's doing this? So dumb!" Not only for the fitness trackers they give in their Happy Meals, to what was it like? Giving burns to kids or something crazy?
Yeah, like, first of all, McDonald's trying to give away a fitness tracker. You're at a McDonald's, okay.
You're at a McDonald's. We love McDonald's. We support McDonald's, but we're not trying to run a marathon.
I acknowledge that I'm at a McDonald's, and I acknowledge that I'm going to get a bacon McDouble and shove it in my face and then drink a milkshake. Like, I know that that's how my day is going when I'm at a McDonald's. I'm not trying to give, like, I would never go to McDonald's and get a fucking salad or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's McDonald's. And so they were trying to give away this, like, some fitness. It was basically like a Happy Meal version of a Fitbit.
Yeah.
And we were like, why are they trying to, like, I understand, like, I guess maybe they're trying to make parents feel like they're not making their kids
like,
obese.
the idea of it is nice. Like, oh, kids understand fitness. I don't know, really, but if you're taking your kid to McDonald's and you're like, okay, kid, like, you're a fat ass, here's a Fitbit, like, I feel like that's kind of counterintuitive
right, just
to the
don't
kid.
take your kid to McDonald's if you're going to make them feel bad about themselves. But yeah, so Marissa told me that they were, like, somehow recalled or something like that. They had to stop doing it because they were, like, burning kids or something like that.
Yeah, it was something horrible. Like, they weren't, like, combusting, but apparently they were giving some kids burns. I'm sure it wasn't the majority. So you had to recall them. And this happened within a few days. Like, day one, Taylor, crazy. 2-3 days later, okay, Taylor, guess what? Update.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. McDonald's trying to go into fitness didn't work out. Like, okay, who saw that coming?
Nuts. So anyway, but it's funny because my friend's dad, he doesn't own, but he manages this nice restaurant in the city, Italian restaurant. And it's funny because I go there and everything's, I mean, I get stuff for free because I go with my friend and I just order literally
brag about it.
Pasta. Taylor, I thought of you because I was having such bad anxiety because, so it was Fina, her friend, my friend Fina, her friend, her boyfriend, and me. And her and her friend were going to split a salmon. And I'm like, okay, well, I like salmon, but we can't split it.
Salmon is so gross.
Okay. And then I said, well, I really wanted a steak, but I feel bad ordering like a $30, $40 steak on somebody else's dime, even though I know it's not really worth that much. But anyway, I was like, okay, like, I don't know, should I get steak, whatever. Like, her boyfriend just got pizza, it's fine. And I'm talking for a while about what I'm going to get and how I'm kind of nervous about it. And then he comes and I'm just like, I'll have Angel here pasta with Alfredo sauce. And Fina and her friend both looked at me like, okay, that was a turn, Marissa. And I was like, you know what, guys? You don't know what anxiety's like. So I just went for something cheap that I know I like.
Yeah.
But
I always have
I think Olive Garden is decent. I mean, as long as you get pasta or pizza, it's hard to screw that up.
Yeah. Plus, like, isn't there unlimited soup salad breadsticks thing, like, cheap,
Yeah, I'm going to
too?
look it up. Olive Garden.
Because, like, that is... My thing, though, is I feel like sometimes I do need some sort of protein. Like, I want some sort of meat product, something. But, honestly, like, I could live off of breadsticks, probably, and be fine.
Taylor, what's your email?
I don't know. What is my email?
I think I know it.
Okay, because I'm not gonna... I don't want people to email my personal email. I have to bleep it out.
Yeah, they should. Okay.
Are you emailing me something weird?
No, I'm just signing you up for Olive Garden Eat Club.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just...
I was like, I don't want to, like, say my personal email. I'd have to either edit it out, or I'd probably just bleep it out, because that would be really funny.
Ooh, my email is...
No, I would absolutely do that. It would be so funny.
Oh, they have a new game where you can launch Ricky Ravioli into space.
All right, I think it's time to wrap up.
Time to wrap up. Okay, bye guys. We'll let you know about the Olive Garden menu later.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what your favorite Olive Garden meal is. If you haven't been to Olive Garden, tell me about it, because I don't remember going.
Okay, right. Bye.
Bye, kids. Make good choices.